raps. My flows as hard as the head on a cabbage patch. All of a sudden niggas is like, your man can rap. Man, I've been doing this since you sat on your daddy's lap. Back in 93, I went off on the rhyme spree. Surrounding with niggas hustling, came the grind was free. I was around it but didn't know where that life could lead. Those were the times I was living to rap, too blind to see. At any moment we could have got pulled over and locked. Drinking Henny and E&J, there was no Ciroc. Getting high 4 deep in a Toyota. No one was in the car, had me shook when police rolled up. I guess it's part of the rush to get hands in cuffs. Doing bibs in the cell to show that you man enough. Nobody wants to lose life over that foolish pride. They would tell you themselves if they wasn't doing time. But when you start learning from others' mistakes, there's only so much pain that those mothers can take. Y'all killing kids, need donations to cover the weight. Like a single parent don't got enough on their plate. Feeding off crumbs as we look at them stuff in their face. Cops are killing us and judges are dumping the case. Now how am I supposed to just sit and relax when in reality you should get this clip in your back? As we watch them take shots like if we fouled you. Killing over cash while the dollar loses its value. Why don't you think about that? Now what's your life worth? I ain't worried about rappers, they just some light work. My main focus is to inform this new generation. Let's come together as one, there's too much separation. I see you got heart and that you're fearless, but when it comes to changing the way you think was your dedication. For those who slept on me in your grave, your blood is waiting. Like you too cool to show love, to me that shell is hating. Get on my level, yeah right, it's too much elevation. I can't keep up with myself, this is a revelation. Writing these thoughts for me is some sort of meditation. Could bring his spirit back to his flesh, let the dead awaken. With this rap I'm a schizo without his medication. Send me to hell when I'm coming back with the head of Satan.
Shit for y'all, man, I mean, for the listeners, man. Yo, I dig deep till I reach the core. What you want, peace or war? I'm from a place where it's illegal just to feed the poor. What a great country where our people stay hungry. Then you want us to donate to others, pay monthly? The land of the homeless, unfortunate. Lead just to see I gotta paint y'all this portrait. Me, I can't ignore the shit. Every beat I torture it. Always stay sharp, trying to figure where this water fit. I'm coming for your props and respect. Fuck the money, it's the time, don't got a lot to invest. Cause it's precious and I cherish it. Miss when niggas did it for the love, but now it's strictly business, ask Paris Smith. More money, more problems comes with street heritage. When niggas can't ball without the pistol Pete marriage. Now I'm at peace, happy, ask me how my marriage is. Great, you can catch me walking, pushing baby carriages. Enjoying your life as I'm chilling with my 1-year-old. Moved out the hood so I don't even need a gun to hold. Damn, it feels good, feels like I really made it. If you ain't walking in my shoes, then I don't care how you portrayed it. This music keeps calling, shit, I pick up the phone. My oldest son says, don't do it, dad, I'd rather have you home. Am I selfish if I go for mine? Knowing that I'm cold with rhymes, loved by the world, but still feeling so alone at times. Know that I was made for this game, but shit, it's not for me. These lames ain't really who they claim, it's hypocrisy. Knowing that hip-hop's in me, pumping through my veins. So if you cut me open, I'm bleeding out Wu-Tang. Nas for Daddy Kane, knowledge reigns supreme. Pop, Biggie, and Pun, there's really too much to name. Shit, you get the picture. Make sure you post it on your Instagram. Hashtag one of the best ever. Love the gifted man.
Used to focus my attention to channel the wrong energy. Distracted by that red bone, brown eye, Hennessy. Magnetic personality, attracting static to enemies. I'm full of rage and jail wasn't the remedy. Now I crave synergy, balance scales of symmetry. Building off my history, super highs of misery. I always got busy, B. Y'all niggas is shit to me. Y'all niggas bugged out, riddles, mentals, a mystery. Dressing like chicks while popping infinite clips. And building whole cities, they got limitless bricks. Driving through the sunset with rented and leased whips. Suing they on labels for unreleased chips. I'm hip to the tricks, that bread don't make you rich. I've been torn apart, then pieced together and stitched. A scarecrow with a lion heart and iron fist. Scared of my own power, secluded myself to shower. 2 seas with all the water they need to bloom flowers and thorns. As I warn, there's a storm just beyond the horizon. Shit is shifting, it's seismic. It's not the temperatures rising, it's the opposite. Desensitized by the access to opt to get, but I remain an optimist. Promise I'm my dominance, a bald eagle in the nest at the summit of prominence. Y'all niggas done for fun, I kill a communist. Dictator or tyrant, my motivation for wildin' is that my talent's been silent. Bottled up, getting violent, like the hope on the island. Just trying to make a new lane, create a different plan. Record it all, memoirs of a gifted man.
But that's the whole tragic point, my friends. What would I do if I could suddenly feel and to know once again that what I feel is real? I could cry, I could smile, I might lay back for a while. Tell me what would I do if I could feel?
Yeah. There's nothing like a conversation with self. You're seeking peace, then acting like a confrontation can help. Guess I'm here to talk about the pain this nation has felt. Cause we been swimming with the sharks, feels like I'm racing with Phelps. I'm like a champ taking out contenders, chasing the belt. So money's falling off of trees and I can rake in the wealth. Helping communities within these inner cities. Videos got chicks wanting fatter asses, bigger titties. What a pity, it's a shame how they view beauty. Say they want a real man when you're probably as fake as your new booty. But whatever, do what makes you happy. Just being real with you. Cause when you broken down, can expect someone to build with you. Love yourself before anyone else. Know your value or you end up catching dust on the shelf. You're worth a lot more than just implants and injections. So appreciate your flaws and love your imperfections. Don't let them tell you any different. Life ain't all about weed smoking, Henny sipping. As I hit the blunt, that liquor took too many friends' lives. So I don't drink it all, man, that screws up your insides. Look at my uncle dealing with that alcoholic struggle. That was enough for me to stop and know it causes trouble. So many years of money wasted, tears and funny faces. Scars left on my body, some feared I wouldn't make it if I didn't make that drastic change. Picture the future, gonna have my son seeing me in massive pain. Know my cousins on that same path. I'm trying to tell him slow down, brother, learn from your dad. But shit, that ain't last. I do it only cause I care. Speaking truth, just making sure.
What up, though? This is T Grizzly. I'm about to do a freestyle on Clue Radio. You know what time it is, man.
120 racks or something like that.
You know, something crazy. He blew this on the chain.
I don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in here freestyling, trying to work hard. You know what I'm saying? It's on, though. Make sure y'all tune in. Clue Radio.
We going shopping.
Yeah, gang. Clue, what up? Clue Radio. Detroit to East Coast. We in this bitch. Activated May 11th. Hey. Small circle, ain't a lot of us. Skinny jeans on, but I managed to get that rocket took. I get cold with this, you know how long they gon' lock me up. They say put it down, but I keep seeing bodies piling up. Hey, Clue, let's talk about my music. Some people might say my shit a bad influence. I talk about killing niggas with bitches that I'm screwing, blowing bags on ice. But just the shit that I be doing. What's my take on Trump? Let me tell you something right now. Besides Obama, I ain't pay attention to that White House. My lifestyle was get that white out before they cut the lights out. Fuck a gun law. When there's drama, we pulling pipes out. Politics never crossed my mind. They probably like, wow, my college professor told me to vote. I was like, how? I grew up a fucking screw up. Went to prison, came home rapping what I was living and blew up. They say Black Lives Matter. but the man that killed my daddy black. And when I see him miss a rap, so I cannot agree to that. That's gonna bring my people back? Hell no, it ain't. So this chopper gonna put him on his ass. We probably need to go back to segregation. I ain't trying to push that. It's just a thought. I mean, that's the only time we really stuck together. White people came around, niggas wouldn't even talk, let alone kill each other. Shit, this is what I was taught. This is how I was raised. I sound stupid, it ain't my fault. But imagine if we were segregated. We independent, got money, we even educated. If everybody get on board, I'm on board. And that's the only way that we gonna make it. Enough with this peaceful shit, let me start some beef. Niggas trying to bully Kanye, do that shit to me. He ain't defending himself, so leave that nigga be. Psych, when you see him, knock out all his fucking teeth. Fuck it.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. This is WTFU with your hosts, Thomas Horazzo, Gizo, and Chantel London. Staying woke from the US to the UK.
What up? What up? It's Tom Horazzo.
Gizo in the building.
And
Chantel London.
There we go. Got a little delay. You know, there's a few thousand miles in between us.
London on the track.
Thank God for these
with the flat.
What's that? London on the track with the flat. Yeah, that's right. So Chantel, you finally moved in the new crib. Got you all set up. So we're glad to have you back. We missed you last week.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I know it's kind of like different surroundings. You know, the setup is completely different right now. You know, but you know, I'm just settling in, making my new house a home, and it's good to be back on a show with you guys as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, I understand what you. We have a saying here: a home is not a home unless you have Chrome. Actually, that's one of my favorite rappers. I want to say Buckshot Shorty, right? You may not know,
like,
but when we talk about Chrome, we talk about firearms
I know about
here.
Buckshot.
Yeah,
You talking about Chantel?
No. What's up?
You say you don't know about Buckshot. Who don't know about
Yeah,
Buckshot?
I don't know if you know, Gizo, about Buckshot Shorty. I'm just not sure.
Bucktown, home
Okay.
of the original. Come on,
Okay,
man.
he knows the repertoire.
Come on,
Anyways,
man.
so real quick, thanks for subscribing to Ruckus Radio Live. James, I want to say it was James Tees. As I was getting ready to go ahead and fire up the program, I noticed, you know, a message came through that James Tees had subscribed. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. I want to say real quick, shout out to a couple listeners that we have possibly around the world. I've been noticing some consistent downloads. Actually, I didn't want to, you know, really say anything at first, you know, because some of this stuff is a little, you know, there wasn't any consistency. But I've been noticing in the last month a few consistent downloads from Tokyo, Canada, and Australia. So shout out to those listeners out there. You know, and I don't know if you've listened to us through Ruckus Radio Live or not, but in case you don't know, we are live on Ruckus Radio Live Tuesdays 7. Actually we bumped it up a little bit. Usually we come on around 6:30 on Tuesday Eastern time, or Eastern Atlantic, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, you can listen to us live if you happen to be up at that time. So yeah, Tokyo, Canada, and Australia. Who knew?
Probably my people from Brampton and shit, from Toronto.
Oh, you got some? Oh, okay. That's the town that I noticed. Actually, we were getting
Brampton.
Yeah, Brampton actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to holler at my dude Todd.
All right.
See if he's.
So that's what's up. We're glad he's listening. So, and of course we've had a few some activity in England as well. So thanks to them. Salute to the Huh gang, of course. You know, that's our core constituency here. We really appreciate you guys. We know last week we had a
constituency.
Yeah, you like that word, huh? You don't Google it afterward. All right?
Oh shit! I used to say I don't know what constituency is.
You know words.
God damn it.
So
you laughing at me, shit.
Just chuckling.
So yeah, last week, Chantel, we had I don't know, my computer was just bugging the hell out. This week I got a fresh reboot before we started. I noticed I don't know, when I run a lot of tabs and have a lot of different things going on, yeah, my RAM actually is getting real low. So that's on the technical side. I might have to do a little upgrading here soon. But everything's running smooth now, so let's I don't really believe in knocking on wood. in the TV business. Everybody, when you bring up something bad, everyone always knocks on wood. We're real superstitious in the TV game.
I do it a lot here as well. Touch wood this, touch wood that. So yeah.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't really.
Rick Ross made a song. When you see me in your hood, nigga, knock on wood. Knock on wood. You remember that shit?
Nah, I don't remember that.
That's Triple C's mixtape back in the day. But anyway.
Shit. So yeah.
What we getting into, Sam? What we getting
into, you know, as we had on our title page earlier, you know, the royal wedding, which is something that Chantel brought up. You know, I hadn't really thought about it. You know, I know a lot of people here in America, you know, what was it? Was that Sunday morning that it popped off, Chantel?
Well, they got married on Saturday here.
Okay.
So, yeah, it would have been Saturday, early hours of Saturday morning in America.
Right. So, you know, of course, I jump on, you know, my wife's social media because I don't really do social media like that. But, you know, she kind of leaves her stuff open on the family computer, and I'm welcome to it. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm spying on her or anything, you know what I'm saying? But no, she leaves it open, and she always, you know, refers to, oh, did you see this on Facebook? It's almost like she expects me, you know what I'm saying, to be looking at this stuff. So I check it out. I peruse through it. And, of course, you know, I'm seeing a bunch of Americans, oh, the wedding, this, that, and the third. And I'm sorry, I'm just not about, you know, I don't really care. We talked about this before, Chantel, and it's no disrespect to England, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't care about monarchy at all. You know what I mean? Like, I have no real love, and I don't want to say I have any hate, but I don't have any love for monarchies and kings and queens and all that.
You know, but a lot of men probably wasn't even checking out for that wedding. You know, it's much more woman thing. You know what I'm saying? The weddings and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably a couple,
you know, it's royalty and stuff. But
those are probably a couple bati. That's kind of my newfound word. You know, the whole bati thing. I think it's a nicer way to kind of go about it. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we're friendly here to the LGBTQIA community for sure.
What was the word you just used to call them?
Bati boys.
Bati boy.
Am I saying that right?
Oh, Bati boy. Oh, yeah. No, you said it in a way I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you know,
I said it like a.
You gotta say it like this, Bati boy.
Yeah, I said it like a gringo, like a freaking American. You know, the baddie boys.
I say rude boy.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, I got a lot of, you know, people from the island that's from hanging in BK, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, the BX got, you know.
Wasn't it Cardi B from the BK? Or
nah,
is
BX.
it
BX.
BX? Okay.
Yeah.
That's from your hood. She's
well,
from
you know,
BX.
we got A Boogie, you know, Hybrid, you know what I'm saying?
Man, Cardi B is representing the BX
I think she is. I don't know if she's from the bridge, but yeah, she from the BX though. But
okay.
So I heard Offset got into a car accident or some shit.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard he got his chain ripped off. I heard a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
So going back to the wedding though, you know, I hadn't really thought about it, Chantel, till you raised it, you know, as we were talking during the week. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Obviously, you had something that you wanted to kind of explore.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, when they first announced that they were getting married last year, I didn't even expect to be in the UK at that point. I actually probably thought I was going to be in America in May because I was planning to be over there during May and June, but because of the house move, etc., I was here. And in the whole run up to it, like as I've mentioned on the show previously, like I don't really pay too much attention to the news and stuff, so I wasn't really getting sucked into this whole like wave of, you know, royal wedding. I was kind of like just taking it in my stride, you know, like if I happen to stumble upon it and watch it, I'll watch it. And like, so Saturday morning, like I don't even have a TV right now. As you guys know, I had the whole issue with the internet, but it was coming up to midday because the ceremony basically was starting at midday. So I figured, you know, let me just put on the mobile data, let me just watch a little bit of the streaming online. So I kind of watched it as Meghan arrived and was going into the church and saw some of the ceremony. And I mean, I'm a bit like you, like I'm not too into the whole monarchy thing, but as a couple, like I kind of appreciate, you know, the love that they have for one another. And I did enjoy the ceremony, and I think a lot of the commentary and a lot of the conversation that's come off the back of the ceremony was how influenced it was and how rich it was in like Black or, you know, African American culture. You know, you had a bishop, you know, by the name of Michael Bruce Curry. He did like a 14-minute address where, you know, he was talking about, I mean, it was really themed around love, but he brought up, Martin Luther King. He spoke about slavery. Like,
Right.
it was like he was preaching in a church. And I guess it was quite surreal because you just wouldn't have expected it at an English royal wedding with the world watching.
You think some
You know,
people
you
were
had,
uncomfortable in there?
Well, the camera was kind of spanning on some people's faces and they didn't seem like that engaged, but maybe they just didn't know how to put their face at that point.
Right.
Like I don't know if they were disengaged. Maybe they were just in thought and listening. I think it was very unexpected because I just think, you've been invited to a royal wedding. I just don't think anyone necessarily expected a Black American bishop to be preaching for almost 20 minutes.
They're like,
It
oh
just
my
was.
God.
I didn't think it was going to happen. I don't think anyone else was really expecting it as well. Kind of what he was saying and the content of his speech was powerful. And the thing is, it's one of those situations where it seemed to have has generated a lot of mixed responses. Some people absolutely loved it. Some people felt like it was a little bit cringeworthy. Like, he spoke about topics that maybe weren't very appropriate at a wedding.
Hey,
I mean, from my perspective, I thought it was powerful.
Hey, real quick, what's up with the Queen? Because I've heard mixed reviews. Like, some people said that she doesn't like black people, and other people saying, nah, she's not like that. What do you know about that?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. Some people were saying that she didn't particularly look that happy at the wedding, but I think she kind of, as like the Queen, she kind of has to have a neutral look. I don't think she can express too many strong emotions.
She like all these Negroes.
I mean, I feel like if she had a big issue with it, then Harry probably wouldn't have been able to marry Meghan.
What's
in
up?
all honesty.
But what's up with Meghan's brother, Meghan Markle's brother?
He hating.
Yeah, he hate. He like, I don't want my kids there. She acting like, my ex-wife is acting like she ain't want my last name. Now she want my last name and all this. I was like, damn, you going there.
There's been a lot of talk about Meghan's family and, why, certain members of the family weren't invited to the wedding, why she seems to be quite distant with, her relatives. And, obviously we don't know what's gone on in her family life, but I can only speak from my perspective. Like, even with my own family, my own relatives, like, if I was getting married, most of my family wouldn't be invited either, and if I become this mega star host off the back of this show and people start writing up about me, they'll probably be saying the same thing, like, oh, she didn't invite that aunt, she didn't invite that cousin. But it's like, we're not close like that. We're not, we're not really a family. They just happen to be related to me. So, if we don't know the ins and outs, maybe there's been some things happen, in her life. I mean, she's a big woman. It's not like she's a young bride. She's like 36 years old. So there may have just been a lot that's gone on and she just doesn't feel that family connection. Therefore, it wasn't really appropriate to invite them to, her wedding. I guess that's the thing with big weddings. Sometimes you feel obligated to invite people that you don't want to invite. But in this situation, she's becoming this very, very, very powerful woman in this country. And she might have been like, well, no, I don't want them at my wedding and I don't have to have them there. And it's personal to me, kind of thing. So
she like that.
I don't know.
She like that chick in Coming to America, except for Eddie Murphy would have been white this time. Yeah, I remember Coming to America. I don't know if y'all saw that back in the days.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I heard they were planning on doing another one, actually.
Classic.
They were doing a remake, I think, or not a remake, but I don't know, a second part to it, where it's like the son goes to America, that kind of shit. Like his son goes to doing the same thing Pops did,
Yeah, that's like 25 years ago, though.
Yeah, man, I hate how they take so long to come up with these sequels. It's like, that shit should have popped off a long time ago.
Yeah,
now,
leave it
no,
alone.
luckily, I mean, if that shit does happen, Eddie Murphy doesn't really age. Honestly, the guy, what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So he'll look good on camera. You know what I mean? It won't be like, oh God, but
yeah, I ain't know James Earl Jones used to stutter.
James Earl Jones?
Yeah, they said that's why he talks like really slow. And
Shaq is kind of the same way. That's why Shaq kind of has that monotone slow. Yeah, because he had a real bad stuttering problem when he was young.
See, damn, you learn something new every day. I heard that shit before. It was like, damn, James Earl Jones, like, look, you are my. Oh, I am your father.
Yeah, don't remake that. Damn. But Chantel, you also. What do you think about as far as the relationship between England? I mean, of course, us and England, U.S. and England, we always have that quote unquote special relationship that we always hear our politicians talk about. Do you think this does anything to strengthen it, to I mean, I don't think it weakens it, obviously, you know what I mean? But do you think that this is anything significant in that regard, or it's just business as usual for us?
I think this is going to be significant in the relationship between America and Britain, because to have an American woman, a mixed race woman in the royal family, I think it just adds that extra layer of interest in the UK now, because I think like there may have been a certain way of looking at the royal family, and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And I just think having Meghan here, I think it just kind of brings us even closer together. And I think more people who wouldn't necessarily be interested in, let's say, Theresa May's relationship with Donald Trump, will be interested in the union between Harry and Meghan, and kind of what evolves from that. So I think it will kind of stem that kind of closeness. It may even more people might even want to come over here, on holiday or whatever the case may be, just because they feel that there's more of a connection. There might be some women in America that want to come here and find their own British prince. Who knows?
Okay.
So,
Jizo talked about going to England one day. Yo, maybe England might be the next Wakanda. Now I don't know if you're from on that Black Panther.
I said I was going to London.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to go out there one day.
Oh yeah,
just see what's popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Maybe move the family out there.
Nah, I don't know about
that. So Chantel, I gotta so talking about this stuff. I talked to you about and Jizo, I think I mentioned about what Al Sharpton had said, and I just watched the video a couple minutes prior to us going on. I'm not gonna play the video. Hopefully, most people are aware of what he said. But I'll just summarize briefly. Basically, he kind of gave a 2-minute little response to the whole thing. What's up, Jesus?
No, go ahead, man.
Okay. So he kind of gave a 2-minute little, response to it. And basically, he said that, this wedding kind of shows that white supremacy is on its last breath. And I know that I think he kind of he was trolling the white supremacists. Because this shit showed up on I'm actually showing right now on the screen a piece from the Atlanta Black Star, which I believe is a black-owned newspaper. But when I was Googling or binging, I'm a big binger. I was binging the story, and actually one of the top responses showed up on Breitbart, Breitbart.com. Now, Shanta, I don't know if you're familiar with Breitbart, but basically they're an alt-right. What we call here in the United States, since Trump's been around, the alt-right, which is another word for just Nazis and fascists and white supremacists, all that shit. But now they call themselves alt-right because it sounds a little better, right? So Breitbart is essentially an alt-right platform. It's a news organization, and it showed up, again, one of the top 5 responses. It was like the second, when I typed up just like Al Sharpton on the royal wedding. It showed, and it prominently featured what he said: white supremacy is on its last breath.
Al Sharpton head look crazy, man. Man.
His what?
Look at his suit. Look at his neck. Like he looked like a cartoon cat ever since he lost that weight.
Yeah.
Like he looked better. Like some people look better heavy set, and I'm looking at it.
But it's about the health, man. I know he ain't probably thinking like, I look better when I was a chubby dude. I mean,
he should have, I don't know, did something to his neck.
Yeah, he needs to work. I don't know. He could do neck exercises or work on his traps.
Yeah, exactly. So
see, we talking about white supremacy here, but Jizo's like, his neck look crazy.
Nah, he look like a cartoon cat. I told you I drove with me for a long time ago. He probably remember me. You ain't driving me, but
he give you a tip.
I don't remember. I know you're sitting in the front.
No,
some cats like sitting in the front. They get car sick. I'm like, damn, man, I want you in the. No, actually, I think he had security in the front, but that was a long time.
Too bad we weren't on the podcast and shit. We could have had him on.
I'm like, yo, Al, B.
Al.
I mean, nah, you know what I'm saying. I would have been like, Mr. Sharpton. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, so of course, I think he's just. I don't believe that because Meghan Markle, a lady of mixed, race, to use that term, that invented term, but. To have a mixed heritage, whatever the case is, marrying, the prince, I don't necessarily believe that this is because, this means that, white supremacy is on its last breath. I think that's ridiculous.
I don't believe that either.
Yeah. If anything, this is going to kick it up a notch, right?
Yeah.
These trolls are going to go ape shit crazy. They're like, damn, right? I can just imagine the threads that are going on right now, the forums. First it's the black man taking all our women, right? And I'm trying to do my best to have a kind of a stupid accent here. And now it's the black women taking all our gingers. What the hell is going on here? So yeah, it's definitely it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That's for sure.
Yeah, like they calling cops and shit.
If anything, it should actually give hope to more gingers out there as well, because gingers generally get like a bad rap. They're undesirable, but we see it. It doesn't make you feel ginger.
Okay, so he's repping out now. They're like shit, but at the same time, he's a prince though, so that kind of.
I know. That's kind of gives him extra points, right?
Yeah.
Yo, why we don't got a royal family over here, son? Why we ain't got no? You know what I'm saying?
We need to. I think we need to get away from. What do you mean? Why don't we have a royal family over here in the United States?
Why we ain't got someone like with the king and the queen and all that shit? I know that's English shit.
Yeah, I mean we broke away. We went to war against them. You know what I'm saying, to get away from that shit. As a matter of fact, when we were first starting the country. Not we, fucking, the founders, we wasn't around, fucking, what's that saying? You go to look for justice, and that's just what you find, just us. But anyways, so when the founders were starting the country, there was a big argument, amongst the delegates, right? They were like, well, who are we going to call the head of government? What are we going to call the head of government? And a lot of the delegates from the states that were around at the time were like, I think we should call him or her. Usually it was going to be a him for sure. We should call him a king. So but a lot of the delegates like, no, we don't want to have a king. We just came out of that, right? Not that we just came out of it, but we broke away from that. We need to have something else. So they threw around a couple names before finally it ended up with we ended up with having a president. But of course it was the minister, it was the emissary, whatever.
See, that's why I did that, because I know he was going to go in the history lesson. See? History.
Listen, you set it up.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to Tom's story, not his story, So that's where we're, Al Sharpton, I hope he was just joking with that, because if he believes that white supremacy is gonna start to collapse because of this situation, he's dead wrong. But I have a sense that he was just he just wanted to talk some shit, basically.
Yeah, just to get attention, just to get headlines as well. Maybe he was just overly excited by seeing, this part of history being played out in real life, and he just felt like he wanted to say that. It's, these things are quite sensationalized, and of course, there's lots more, layers and depths that you have to consider. And this is just one event. There's still loads of social economic issues that we kind of need to consider moving forward. But in that moment on Saturday, people were joyous and happy and feeling the love and that vibration, and I think that's cool to embrace if you want to embrace it. But of course a lot of people were just completely uninterested and didn't play a part in watching it or engaging it, and that's cool as well. Everyone's got their own prerogative in terms of whether they want to kind of be involved in that celebration or not, really.
Right. Well, and we'll see. Well, hopefully some good things, as far as race relations over there in England. And I don't know about here in the United States. I'm not seeing them getting better anytime soon. So maybe things will get better over there. Hopefully she'll be a a good spokesperson for people of color. And kind of hope maybe help the situation over there. But again, as far as over here, her getting married ain't doing anything for us. So that's why I was a little, I'm like, there's so much shit going on here. Like the royal wedding could really,
royal wedding could kiss my.
that's kind of the attitude I was having. But congratulations to them. Weddings are a good thing. We've been talking about wealth for the past few. God, it seems.
Let me say, they're a good thing if you don't get divorced in year 2 or 3.
Well, no, that's exactly the point, because one of the trends, and I hadn't talked about this when it comes to wealth creation, but one of the things that wealthier people seem to be, or at least in the middle class, marriage, home ownership. These are the things that actually, because again, it's about resources, right? If you're with your wife, you get divorced. Now, not only do you have to fend for yourself, but in this country, you have to also fend for your spouse, in the form of alimony payments, child support, so
Damn.
yeah, and they really do it. Actually, I was listening. Who was I listening to? Oh man, it was Mac J, and D Holla's show. And excuse me for forgetting the title, but they had this whole great conversation about, step parents, you know what I mean, in these situations that arise, from when you have, I guess you would call them split families, diverse families in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that is that resource, allocation, instead of like for instance, me, I have a daughter, if I had to pay, and I probably would have to pay a shitload of money, if I had to give up, I don't know, $300 a week. You know what I mean? It's real tough to do the extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be like, oh, Dad, I want a pair of kicks or whatever. I want a new softball glove. So that anyways, it makes it real tough. So going back to wealth creation, yeah, when we split up, you know what I mean, and we split up these assets that we've grown, over the years as a couple, it really hurts. It basically cuts everything in half. It just liquefies the whole situation. So
yeah, because couples have to end up selling their house and stuff, and then it's like the money that you've got from the house. How can you possibly afford to get two houses from that one house?
Right.
It does take a real financial and emotional strain on couples when they decide to get a divorce. It's nothing to be taken lightly, because I guess when you get married, you do become one. So to separate, especially when there's children involved, it's a big complication, and it can end up costing one spouse. I'm not just going to say the man, because sometimes it can be the woman who has more wealth or has a better job or whatever the case may be. It's going to end up costing someone big time financially, in the least as well. So
right, everybody usually ends up with less.
Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that's right. It's cheaper to keep her. Is the saying.
It's the solicitors that profit the most anyway, to file for a divorce and to pay all those legal fees. They're the ones that are happy at the end of the day.
Right, the attorneys.
It's always going to end up costing.
Yeah, because the attorney's taking his 25 to 30% off top, so he's always winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard though, it's like, say if you have split custody of the, whatever children or whatever, like say 1 or 2 children, it kind of like wouldn't be as bad, but it's hard, like, cause some parents don't want to do split custody. And then you might not want to live near the ex or whatever, and the kid gotta go to a certain school and all this. So it's like,
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So all right, I think we pretty much covered the royal wedding. We'll see what comes out of this union. You know what I mean? It's a continuing conversation. So whatever happens. What's up?
Nah, that's my shit. That's that shit. Jizo shit. My friends would be like,
About what? Just like.
Nah, this is just a noise like they be making fun of me. They be like, yo, say
Okay, that's a new thing now.
That's gonna be my ad libs when I start spinning the buzz. Like, yo,
Okay. I just want to make sure. I thought you were about to throw up or something. I'm like, are you good? Let me get you some water or something. All right, so
Chantel, like, what they're doing.
Yeah, we're just carrying on here. But so moving on to kind of our second topic here. If you don't have anything else on the royal wedding stuff, Chantel.
No, it's fine. It's just interesting how we went from the beautiful wedding and we just turned it all the way to divorce.
Yeah, because that's how it goes 0 to 100 real quick, as Drake would say. But actually, 50% of the marriages here in the United States end in divorce.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so so hopefully they'll stay together.
She ain't going nowhere. Harry might be like, yo, man, you signed this prenup. Remember that shit? You remember that shit on Outkast? He was like, hey, baby. He was like, guess what? She was like, what? He like, you want to get married? She's like, yes. He's like, you know what? What? Would you sign this prenup? She like, huh?
I don't remember that skit.
That's on, what's it, Speaker Box? One of the classic Outkast albums. It was like in one of the skits. It's like, you got it. I'll play it for you one day. That shit is funny.
Right.
Talking about marriage.
So of course, Chantel, over since the last time we all talked, or actually me and Jizo went on last week, you weren't around, but we had another school shooting, right? It's becoming like a routine, thing now here in the United States, I guess, where we're gonna have these school shootings every other month, I'm guessing,
Yeah, that shit crazy.
And I didn't want to bring up, last time we talked about a school shooting, we try to bring out some numbers, we try to do data. But this time I kind of wanted to do I wanted to do less data, really. I kind of wanted to I wanted to talk about it in a different respect. But what's funny, just to bring up a quick statistic, it's now more dangerous to be a school kid in the United States than it is to be a a member of the United States Armed Forces. We've lost more kids this year in school shootings than we have in war, in any of our, conflicts around the world. So just that's just a little statistic just to throw out there, right? Because we've lost about, I want to say, close to 30 people in school shootings this year. We haven't lost 30 troops this year. In Afghanistan, Syria, wherever the hell we're at, there's a lot of places that we're in that I can tell you that it doesn't show up on the nightly news.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
In fact, sometimes there are situations where you hear about people dying, just like we had. What was it last year or early this year? The troops in Niger. We lost 4 Green Berets in Niger, and no, I don't think anyone here in the United States, probably speaking to the general public, realized that we had troops in Niger. So it's like we found out because they got killed. But yeah, so we lost over 30 people in school shootings so far this year, and we're getting close to about the halfway point here, but yeah, it's really sad because as a former Marine myself, it's like we're supposed to be right. The whole idea, and I'm throwing up the air quotes here, is that we go and fight our enemies abroad, so that they don't come and do damage, they don't come and do harm over here. But it's like, are we now our own enemy? We're now our own biggest enemy, right? We're killing more, and we've been doing this for a long. But my problem is the inaction, right? If someone from Al Qaeda made it all the way over here and killed 30 school kids, and a couple teachers this year, we would be finding where Al Qaeda was in the world, sending a few thousand troops and blowing them to fucking to Kingdom Come.
They would be fucking getting on Trump. Oh, fucking shit is despicable. But yeah, you got, and I'm like I said, I always gotta cover my ass. I'm not a racist, but again, who do you see doing the shootings? Young white males.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying on that, but then we could go to any major city, right? And then who do we see doing the shooting? So I don't necessarily.
But I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gang. You know what I'm saying? But that's totally different. Like, we're not getting guns and just shooting kids and shit. Like, and then want to commit suicide. I mean, it's like
people are dying. The way I look at it is like people are dying regardless.
Yeah. But. It's just like war. I mean, you like we had war or we got Cold Wars. Ain't nobody going. I mean, we just waiting. Like, everybody's waiting to get. Like, look at it like this. Everybody's waiting for a chance to get back United States. You think Japan and them forgot about what we did to them in Hiroshima? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even though
they good.
See, yeah, exactly. Somebody that fucking hates Americans. They hate the United States Army. And it's the same shit with these Bloods, Crips. Everybody's waiting. You killed my cousin. You killed like T Grizzly said in the freestyle. Some dude dropped his father. Wait till he meet up with him. It's like payback. It's always going to be the payback.
Right.
These kids that's stealing their fathers or parents' guns and just getting guns at 18.
Yeah.
And what's going on with
what's funny is they think they're doing a measure of payback as well. A lot of these kids we're hearing, and I know it's
bullied. Some of them were bullied.
Exactly. Now it's oranges to apples, to a degree, because when T Grizzly says, "Hey, look, when I catch up with the black dude that killed my father, I'm gonna kill him." Like, this is a direct revenge,
Yeah.
And there was a wrong act. He was wrong, directly.
And I don't want y'all to say, you can condone street violence, because they got to kill someone that killed their father or cousin and it's over money and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that, but it's a different whole type of animal when you talk about killing innocent people. Even though innocent people do get killed, and I understand you saying people are dying regardless, but I can't just see, like, I always said they're like our what you call overseas when they suicide bombers. Like, you never know when one is going to just pop off and kill like 10 or 20 or 30 people like in like 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It's like, that shit don't happen in the hood. You know what I'm saying? When do you hear, I mean, people can't shoot, and sometimes people get hit in the scraps, but they're not coming out and just shooting a whole, mowing down kids, innocent kids or teachers. Like, I mean, they trying to get the target, but that's a whole other debate.
I hear what you're saying. I think the seeming randomness of the targets, I think, makes it more I don't know, it makes us react in a different way, right? That way I think it feels worse, right? Because when we look at the nightly news and we see, oh, this situation happened in New Haven or whatever, or in New York City, you know, and immediately the you know, you usually see in the reports, it's like, oh, it possibly gang related, possibly drug related. So it kind of puts the public at ease. Okay, this was, you know, an isolated incident. You know, the target wasn't random. You know, but again, when you have these school shootings and there seems to be a level of randomness to the targets, right? You know, basically they break in and they just start shooting for the most part. You know, it seems like they just start shoot whoever they can shoot because they know they're not going to have a lot of time to so it's not like they're gonna be like, hold up, let me go into. Well, go ahead, Chantel.
Sorry, no, I was going to say as well, I just think one of the issues and the main reason why I think it's so different to any other type of shooting is that, you know, parents are sending their children to school, right, to be educated, to be protected. So you're not even supposed to have going through your mind that something like this could happen, that someone's going to come into a school and just start, you know, killing down children just for no reason at all. And I think that's what's so scary and I guess so heinous about those type of crimes. It's like, it's so senseless and like, it shouldn't happen like ever. And the fact that it seems to be occurring more, it raises alarms, like what's going on, like
right?
What really is going on?
And there was even one girl who was interviewed after kind of during the whole, you know, the immediate aftermath of the shooting, you know, and she was like, I've been thinking to myself, you know, when is it gonna happen in my school? You know, I mean, it's getting to the point where kids are just wondering, is today gonna be the day? You know, is it gonna be that? In this case, we had a kid that was a little bit eccentric, you know, from what I'm hearing, kind of like Columbine style. You know, he wore a long trench coat, you know, and it's kind of.
And he, I'm sorry, he did certain people that he liked that he spared. That's what they were saying. He didn't kill everybody that was in his path because he was like you know, but I guess he picked out certain people that he didn't like or that I guess bullied him.
So it was targeted in his situation.
Yeah, in that one.
Yeah. Oh, that adds a different. You know, again, so now we are talking about revenge, you know? It seems to make more sense. You know, and that's why I don't even like giving the revenge thing any credence, really. Because when we start to throw in the element of revenge, it was like, okay, well, you know, because we start using that eye for an eye mentality. We don't let the law, we don't let the system. These systems that we have are meant to keep us from ripping each other apart. You know what I mean? Once we stop believing in them, and unfortunately, I hate to bring it back to the Trump administration. Right now, we have an administration that's basically saying, yo, we're above the law. You live under us, right? If I want to fire the guy who's investigating me, I'm going to fire him. And they're building it up, you know.
But that shit ain't going to happen because that shit.
Well, let's hope not, you know what I mean?
It'll fuck him up. You know that shit.
Yeah, it'll be, but he'll get away with what he's going to, he'll probably just get away with the crime. And that's the problem. I think back on it, not to kind of go left here with the whole thing, but when we don't handle corruption, you know what I mean? We let Nixon walk. Nixon should have went to prison. All right, Reagan should have went to prison. All right, freaking Bush should have went to international criminal court for taking us to war in Iraq. But when we let this shit slide, that's how we get a Donald Trump. So in these bullying situations, to kind of go back to that, you know, we need to nip the shit in the bud. You know, and I've been lucky with our school system here. In West Haven, you know, shit happens, you know, they take care of it quick, seemingly. I don't know what your experience has been, Gizo. Maybe we could talk about that offline, but any little, I've gotten calls from my daughter's school, minor shit that back in the day, you know, you could have got fucking pounded in back of the school and no one would find out about it. But nowadays it's like, just want to let you know there was a little situation where someone said shit, you know, it may have been toward your child. So they jump on and I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. You know, like, what am I, like, I'm not, you know, I'm like, all right,
sometimes
whatever.
I'll be like, damn, if I had a job where I could just stay home and just like, you know, I would probably think of homeschooling because this shit is getting crazy. Like, they don't want to put metal detectors. I mean, that's just part of like what they should start doing. Like, you know, have like fucking high tech security system. Don't let motherfuckers go out the sides and shit.
What's funny is that they say, oh, we don't want to institutionalize our kids. We don't want to make it like a prison. And this is, I'll be honest with you, this is what a lot of Democrats say. And I'm like, what's funny is they say that shit and it's like, Dude, yo, my brothers had their school was pretty rough. There was actually a couple shootings in where my brothers went to school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they after like they had I think it was the vice principal they got shot or some shit. But they put metal detectors in, you know what I mean? And you had to rock a clear backpack.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure
yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure it's like that, in other places.
Come on, Ruckus Radio. You know Steve-O, White Plains Road, man. Come on, man. We had the metal detectors. Come on. Is it okay to say? Well, Ruckus Radio Live. I don't know if Ruckus Radio Live. One second. Let me turn my mic off. My ask Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Rich. You know what I'm saying? D Holla. You know what I'm saying? You know about Steve-O on the BX? That shit was
Steve-O?
crazy.
Tell everybody at large.
Adlai E. Stevenson, one of those presidents, that was the name of our school, high school. That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I got caught with the knife and shit. My shit fell out my book bag. But that's when after that, they started bringing, not just because of me, but people was bringing weapons into school all day. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got to some shit. I bought a knife to school. Cats bringing in knives and guns, and then they started bringing the metal detector as soon as you go through the fucking.
Chantel, he's living like he's out in England and shit, carrying a knife everywhere he goes.
Yo, man, I couldn't get a banger. I was on, going
Not
to school.
that bad here.
I know it's calmed down. And see, we haven't heard anything here in the U.S. About you guys with the knife violence. So.
They ain't doing that acid shit no more, Chantel.
Not that I've heard about, but there's probably still incidents going on. I mean, the thing is, the news agenda will always pick and choose when they want to highlight certain things, but a lot of things happen that don't get reported on as well.
Yo,
but, that acid thing is very serious, though. Very, very serious.
Yo, if I come out to London, we go chilling. I ain't trying to get no acid thrown on me like aliens and shit talking about, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if
Don't worry, I'll look after you, don't worry.
Yeah, walk around with that Black Panther mask on or some shit, protect your face.
You remember the movie Aliens? They had the acid for blood.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Motherfuckers. But yeah.
So yeah, when this shooting happened, of course, I'm over there. I'm shaking my head about the whole thing, and I'm just like, here we go, another one. And then the excuses that we're hearing from, the new NRA vice president or president. I think he's the vice president, Oliver North, who actually is, in my opinion, a traitor. He's a Marine, former Marine. Colonel Oliver North. I'm not even gonna say. I feel like this guy should have got death by firing squad for what he did in America during the 80s. Basically.
Yeah, because I'm like, that didn't sound familiar.
Yeah, he's when we're talking about Iran-Contra now. So while Reagan was the president, he's the one, getting the dope from Latin America, having it, shipped up here so that he can then use the cash to, it was
crazy.
So Reagan sold weapons to the Iranians, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to go to war, and I always forget the country. Was it Nicaragua, El Salvador, wherever you had basically there was a kind of a communist uprising.
Yeah.
So then you had the Contras. The Contras were trying to stop this left-wing uprising. Reagan, of course, being a big, anti-communist that he was, he's like, I'm trying to send troops down there. Congress was like, yo, you're not sending nobody down there. You know what I mean? Like, yo, basically, you're not doing shit. So he's like, oh, okay. So what did the Reagan administration do? They started selling weapons to Iran, secretly, getting and taking that cash and funneling it to the Contras so that they could fight the leftists down there. So all under basically, without Congress's consent. He violated the Constitution. You need to go to Congress. You need to be, when you want to do these things. So and he's part of the whole Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross.
Yeah, I was going to actually, cause that's my net. I remember I did a report on that. You ever heard about that book, Black Rose, White Justice?
No, I don't.
But Freeway Ricky Ross. I know the CIA basically did the same shit. Like, they brought, like you said, the coke into the hoods, and then this dude was like playing tennis, right? He was a tennis player,
Who?
I think. Rick Ross.
I don't know. I never heard that.
Yeah, I think. Well, he was a good, I guess, like high school or whatever student. And then, he just, I forgot how he got turned on to selling, but basically, when it was all said and done, basically, he got locked up for, whatever, years, and all the people that were the higher-ups fucking got off and shit.
Right. I mean, with Rick Ross, I remember he actually told the judge, he's like, I was doing this for the CIA, and the judge says, I don't care if you were doing it for the president of the United States. That has nothing to do with what's going on here. And basically, kind of like Rich just mentioned, kill the messenger, freaking... Oh, actually, yeah, that wasn't that was the movie, right? Kill the Messenger was the movie, but with the reporter who actually broke that whole story. But yeah, so they basically threw Rick Ross under the damn bus. But I don't even know how the hell I drifted into that shit. But
you were talking about Oliver North.
Oliver North. So Oliver North, thank you. Oliver North is now the NRA. Yeah, and this is what's when Michelle Obama said what she said, it's still almost every week that shit rings in my head. When they go low, we go high. But now it's like
you mean get high? Oh, get
no, that's you. Jesus was like, when they go low, I just get high.
I'll do that.
But no. So when we try to, have some sort of decency, right, and become better people, they just actually get worse. They're like, yo, fuck your decency. Fuck your whole, kumbaya, we are the world shit. Yo, we're just gonna. So who does the NRA pick? Oliver North, a fucking criminal. All right, and this guy was indicted. All right,
So what's he? What is he doing for the NRA?
I'm sorry. So now he's their vice president. All right, and he was basically the coordinator. Working for the Reagan administration and the CIA, handling all this shit with the drugs and the weapons. One of the things that he got charged, anyways, he shredded. Basically, he was up all night shredding papers. That's what got him in trouble, because when they came to get the paperwork, all these memos and shit, he destroyed them. All right, so sorry, Chantel, for the little, U.S. history, Reagan.
She like, what the fuck is going on?
It's fine.
Right, so we're just talking about good old-fashioned, American corruption. But anyways, going back to the NRA, what does this guy say? He blames it on Ritalin. Did you hear that shit?
No. Wow.
Jizo, yeah, so Chantel, I don't know if you know what Ritalin is. Are you familiar with it?
No, what is it? A drug or something?
Yeah, it's a drug that it's used to I guess calm hyperactive children. ADHD, right? So this is what So when he gets interviewed and goes on NRA TV, he's like, yeah, I think it's Ritalin, right? You've got the lieutenant governor of Texas saying the problem is it's not guns, we have too many doors in our schools. You know what I mean? Right? So and to a degree, don't get me wrong, there are things that we talked about this.
Yeah, he means too many doors to get into the school.
Too many doors to get into the schools, right?
Yeah.
He's like, we have over 8,000 schools in Texas. There's just not enough people to cover every door. Which I think is, bullshit
fucking lock the doors, don't let them go out. I mean, I'll come in that way, and fucking only on fire. Like if it's a fire, then open them shits, but even though some shit could pop off then and somebody put a fire alarm, but
you really need to have people at the door. I'll tell you what, I've seen it here in the school system in our town, the teachers man the doors. And some of the smaller, so while the school is getting filled, teachers who don't have classes necessarily going on, like you don't have students coming to your homeroom classroom, you're at a door. You're making sure that because another student could always come in and open that door for someone else. You know what I mean? But yeah, you put teachers, whoever, all this auxiliary staff, you know what I mean? You put them at the doors to make sure that everyone's coming in through one entrance. So I understand, but for the lieutenant governors, the problem is the doors. Like, wait a minute, how long have these schools been around? They've been around for a while, and those doors have been there for a while. You know what I mean? So now it's the doors.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, someone just got their kid killed, but it's not about guns or access to guns or anything. It's about the doors. It's about Ritalin.
Yo, son, we gotta get on how these people trying to mess with the Latinos now. They they always mess with.
I'm gonna get on to that in a second, but I wanna. What's up? You gotta go somewhere?
No, I thought I didn't know what time we supposed to be in like 7:30.
We didn't really have a hard.
Okay. All right. I thought it was like 7:30. All right.
Nah, I mean, I think we're pretty clear. I think we'll be ending close to the top of the hour. But we'll get it all out.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, actually, just before we move on to this, so anyways, as I was looking at the shooting, I started to think. It reminded me of a piece that I read a few years ago that I want to share with you guys. And I'll kind of show it up here. This was a study done by a university, but anyways, this is just one of the publications that came out talking about it. But so try to bear with me here. How elites used human sacrifice to enforce inequality in ancient societies. Now, maybe you're thinking to yourself, what the hell does that have to do with a shooting? My view on the whole thing is that we're actually still, even though we're talking about ancient societies, we're still having ritual sacrifices in our country. And of course, now we didn't all sit there and say, okay, today, right? We didn't put all the schools into a big hopper, right? And pick one out and say, today, this school's going to get, shot up today. But the fact that we allow these things to happen, we don't do anything about it, it's basically becoming a tradition. It's becoming like a ritual sacrifice. And basically, I think the premise is, you know what, for us to be free, and you'll hear gun lovers, talk about this shit. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say I'm a gun nut, but I am a gun owner, and I do like guns for self-protection. I'm a mechanic at the end of the day. I want to have the best tools for the job. So so that I can accomplish the job.
Clean your gun squeaky clean, son.
Yeah, I'm out of shape, but my gun's healthy. You feel me? That's that Jadakiss shit. But so anyways, I believe that we're now getting ritualistic with this shit. We're a lot, and again, so to go back to it, it's like you're hearing people, they're all but saying it, right? And what the statement is for us to be free and have a society in which we can have guns and protect ourselves from the government. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of a lot of the gun nuts, it's really about race. It's not about the government per se, because I'll tell you what, a whole bunch of people with rifles are not gonna hold back the government. If the government does decide to come for you, they're gonna come hard, they're gonna come deep. And I'm sorry, if you got 100 guys with rifles, they're gonna find a way to light you up, guaranteed.
Yeah.
The reality is that a lot of these gun lovers, if you will, these gun humpers, they're racially motivated. All right, when they think about civil war, what they're thinking about is civil war, and they're thinking about a race war. They're more scared of people of color coming for theirs, right? And this is the psychosis that runs through their mind. You know what I mean? Especially when they watch news about Chicago. Oh my God. Thank God it's isolated in Chicago, but if they were to come down here in the middle of bumfuck Egypt nowhere, I got something for their ass. They're not going to take my damn pickup truck. To hell with that. You know what I mean?
Put the fear in them.
Right, exactly. And this is what, and again, the subtitle of this article is "Elites Knew the Value of Fear-Mongering Even Way Back When." And again, I think that we're now in a modern version of this, which is basically saying, yeah, you know what? A couple kids got to get killed every year so we can be free, so be it. That's pretty much the attitude that I think we are now having.
I hear what you're saying as well, and there is a point there in the sense of, every time we do hear about these incidents, it just kind of lowers the vibration of people. And like you say, it does inject fear into people, and people are walking around with fear, even, if there's a terrorist attack or whatever, like everyone's fearful, even what you guys were saying about London earlier, like what happens here being reported over there, you don't live here, so you don't really know everything in context, and that even creates a fear overseas. So I think when we live in a society of fear, like it does generate this energy that is not very productive and healthy. So you may have a point there, really. Whether it's actually being fully strategized that way, I don't know.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if they're actually consciously thinking about it, right, and putting the plan into action, but it's starting to have that feel. And that's why I say it's kind of it's not a direct. I can't draw a direct parallel here. But again, how many times is this going to happen over the next 100 years? And we, it's funny, Chantel, we talked about the video last week. This is America. Well, 2 weeks ago. This is America.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's crazy is that where that piece is meant to be satire, and hyperbolic, now it's not even, it's weird because it's like, it's supposed to be art imitating life, but now it's like life imitating art. It's getting to the point where kids are going to expect that there's going to be a shooting, right? And instead of having these kids crying outside, they're just going to be, after a school shooting, right, waiting for their parents. They're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be, hanging out, I don't know, playing maybe double dutch or whatever kids do. Basically you're going to be bored. You're going to be outside. It's going to become so routine. It's really dystopian. Maybe my thinking is dystopian, where it's just like, oh, come on, Tomas, that's a little, that's never going to happen. Kids are never going to be that used to seeing, their dead friends like that. But I'll tell you what, there are places around the world where kids are used to seeing dead people.
Children are you getting used to it? No, it's true because I remember like when I was 16 or 17, like I didn't know any person who was my peer who I went to school with who had been killed, stabbed or whatever. But I feel like the average 16, 17-year-old now, like they will know someone who has been, whose life has been taken on the streets. And people do lose their sensitivity when these things are constantly bombarded in their face, whether it's real life or on the TV or in the movies or in the video games, whatever. People are becoming very desensitized and they can talk about these things as just like a matter of fact. These young children now, and they're talking about knife crime and stuff. It's so sometimes it almost sounds quite blasé to them, like it's just a way of life, and it really isn't the way of.
Chantel?
Yep.
Oh, she's reconnecting. Standby. Let's see here. Chantel?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. I
I'm
just
here.
had a little break up there. Yeah. Again, so you're seeing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Your average 16-year-old. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Right. It could be someone they directly knew. Maybe someone that they know lost someone. But in a way, you're only going to be maybe 5 degrees separated from some other kid that got killed. And that becomes a reality. Well, if it's my turn, it's my turn, or it is what it is. I always hate that saying. It is what it is. It's just like that's an acceptance, of the status quo. And it's like, no, I don't want us to get to accepting that, even though it looks like we pretty much have already.
Yeah, well, before you go into this next chart, I wanted to say how you was talking about the fear-mongering. That's how Trump basically won, because he got all these cats to believe that, he's going to take their guns, that Obama was going to, like the Democrats, they was trying to take their guns and blah, blah, blah. Then that's kind of one of his ways that he got all these people to come out in droves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Hillary, she's going to take your guns.
Yeah,
They've been saying
that
Hillary and Bill Clinton were working with the UN on this. They have this proposition. It's called UN proposition, and then there's a number to it. But basically, it says that all the countries that are in the UN were gonna basically disarm their populations, right? And this is, and there's, Hillary's been a part of that forever, her and the Bilderbergs, this, that, and the third. I try not to, again, see, this is when they use conspiracy. See, they use conspiracies to depress our vote, right? So a lot of times when they're not outright blocking us from voting, like fucking throwing out ballots saying they ran out of ballots, or, you're not supposed to vote here, you're supposed to vote over there, you go over there. They tell you, you're not supposed to, and then by the next thing you know, the fucking the whatchamacallit is closed.
Yeah.
So when they're not overtly doing these things, they're trying to subvert us. Meaning, again, they throw so much shit in our ear where they're like, we get depressed and we're like, man, I'm not even gonna vote, man. I can't vote for Hillary, man. She's on that shit, blah blah blah, and that's how we get basically they pull the okey doke on us. So a lot of times we have to reject. We got to keep an open mind, but we got to reject some of the bullshit. Because look at the situation we're in now.
Fight the powers that be.
Exactly. So real quick, I got this chart, that kind of came from the article. I made it myself. That's why I kind of messed up on the y-axis. But high, middle, and low represents the amount of stratification in these, what they call the Austronesian societies, right? So these are people from the Taiwan area who kind of migrated to New Zealand. So now they're your indigenous peoples in New Zealand, Australia, New Guinea, all these different places. So again, when I say stratification, meaning, right, you have a hierarchy, right? So you've got a 1%, think of it like this. You've got a 1% and then you've got a shitload of poor people. So on the low end, that means that there's more equality in society. On the high end, that's where you've got the 1% and you've got everyone else. So this big disparity between wealth. So in the places where there was more disparity, in wealth from the top 1% and down, or the upper even the top 10% and down, you've got more higher rates of human sacrifice, right? And then as you notice, as we get toward the low end of the stratification scale, you actually have less. You got about 25% of those societies actually using ritualistic human sacrifice. And I'm wondering if we are, right, because in this country, wealth disparity is growing out of control. We're getting basically back to what was it? What's the big crash, right? Depression, the Great Depression. We're getting back to pre-Great Depression levels of wealth disparity in this country. And I'm wondering where it's like, with these elites that are sit on top of us, yeah, they're okay. They're okay with this killing. I don't know.
So it's like that Illuminati shit that they be making jokes about with rappers and shit. Like they say that XYZ he got his money because he had to sacrifice somebody. You be hearing that?
No, I'm not. Well, that to me is more part of the conspiracy. Like, he sold himself to the right. They're part of the whatever. They made deals with the devil.
Yeah, like somebody died in their family or close to them. They said,
yeah. And I don't look at it like that per se, but it's like it's this thing where it's like, well, people gotta die. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting on top.
I see what you're saying.
The more that the people in power, or I should say, when people are in power, when they look at what's going down, what's happening at the lower levels of society, they don't really care, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones with the that have the power and can create the mechanisms to stop this stuff. But as long as their wealth is not being challenged, there's no point in changing anything. And I wonder if they kind of get a sick pleasure out of the whole damn thing, to be honest with you. But in a way, again, I just want to kind of close off with this. We have more in common with ancient societies, I think, than we care to acknowledge. As modern as we are with our apps and our this and that and our technology, we're still acting like freaking, like we're using, we're basically acting tribal. You know what I mean? Where we're just okay with these things, and it's sad. But anyways, go ahead, Chantel.
No. Just what you were saying then, it just actually reminded me a little bit of because I was at my philosophy class earlier, and it was completely unrelated to what you said, but just in terms of like when we compare ourselves now to, like, as you say, like ancient times, the premise of whatever it is we're doing now is the same back then. It's just like our technology may have.
Chantel?
Am I clear? Can you hear me?
Did you fall down?
Yes. I just kind of, I was just making a point that, we may have evolved in terms of technology and culture, etc. But when you drill down to the basics, like, we are pretty much the same as our ancestors in terms of instincts and just behaviors en masse, etc. And I just don't think we always realize that we play into the same position and we have the same patterns, and it's history repeating itself all over again.
Right. And that's why, I always hear this shit from, leave what happened in the past, especially when it comes to slavery, right? And it comes to the civil rights era and some of the freaking harsh ways that black people were treated. That's all why you keep bringing up the past? And it's like, but again, when the people that say that shit is because they want us to be ahistorical, so that they can basically use those same methods of oppression again, right? You can't.
Yeah.
What's the old saying, right? Fool me once. You know what I mean? I don't want to fuck it up like George Bush did. He was like, what did he say? He said, "Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
Fool me twice,
shame on you."
Some right. Some
Fool
shit
me
like,
3 times. Fuck the peace sign.
Okay.
That's that J. Cole shit.
Oh, all right. I don't fuck with that woke rap shit.
Oh shit.
But anyways, so yeah. Again, the more we understand history, the better we are prepared to prevent people from using those same old dirty tricks against us. And that's why it hurt so bad when we heard a guy, and again, not to get on him again, even though Dash Dillinger came out with a new song, a diss song for Kanye. Did you hear that joint? It's all right. The rap's a little weak, but it's a nice audible collage of some of the things that have been going on. I wanted to try to play it today, or maybe I'll play it eventually one day. Who knows? We'll see. But anyways, so again, when you hear a guy like him saying slavery was a choice, it's like, damn, dude, you haven't even looked into this shit at all. Like, you haven't even seen a movie. Like, at least watch a movie, and that's why I was so on that shit last week. It's like, at least watch fucking 12 Years a Slave. You know what I mean? If you can't open a book, do that at least. It's only 2.5 hours, whatever. That'll freaking educate you at least enough so where you can begin to talk about this damn subject.
Damn Kanye.
But
I fucks with you, but damn, man. I don't know about now.
I don't fuck with him at all.
Not now.
I'm about to throw my Yeezy Boost on the cable on the power wire outside. Fucking anyways, so moving on here as we get into the C block of the show. Last week we talked about, basically there were a lot of situations where, we had black people getting harassed for barbecuing, you know what I mean? Getting harassed for sleeping, in their dorm rooms.
Crazy.
You know, but this week, what do we have? We've got Hispanic people, Latino people, you know, getting fucked with while speaking Spanish.
That's some crazy shit.
So I'm gonna run a video, Chantal. I don't know if you got a chance to see this one, but anyway, this is I'm just gonna. What's that?
I didn't get a chance, but I'll have a look now.
Okay, this is a. I'll set it up for you a little bit here, but this was really concerning to me actually. This is shit that I've kind of had a mild fear of. You know, it's funny when I talk about it to people, it's just like, oh no, come on now, and now it's actually happening. But you've got an ICE agent, right, which is Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. You've got them basically apprehending or detaining two ladies who were just speaking Spanish. So let's take a listen to this.
527. Growing outrage sparked by the answer to a simple question.
Why you ask us for our IDs, please?
Ma'am, the reason I asked you for your ID is because I came in here and I saw that you guys are speaking Spanish, which is very unheard of up here. Montana resident Anna Suda tells NBC News for nearly 40 minutes she and a friend were detained by a Border Patrol agent along the U.S.-Canadian border in an incident she calls racial profiling.
So it is illegal to speak Spanish in Montana?
No, ma'am, it's not illegal. It's just very unheard of up here. She recorded the confrontation last week in the small town of Havre, Montana, about 35 miles from the border. The pair were released without being charged.
So we just come here to the store to buy milk and eggs.
The ACLU says agents within 100 miles of the border must have reasonable suspicion of an immigration violation or crime. Customs and Border Protection says agents and officers are committed to treating everyone with professionalism, dignity, and respect. They have the authority to question individuals, make arrests, and take and consider evidence. This incident is being reviewed.
I am a U.S. citizen and I have my rights.
Steve Patterson, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for...
All right, Chantal, I know you still have to catch up there. But again, so we see two people, right, two women in a gas station talking Spanish, and I don't know how this, I don't know if he happened to be there, this ICE agent, you know, yeah, can I see your IDs? You know, and the lady asked, you know, what are the IDs about? You know, what are you asking for? I heard you speak in Spanish. That's a little rare, you know, around these parts. You know, it's almost like, you know, the proverbial or fucking, I don't know if I should call it proverbial, but the black guy who gets lost in the white neighborhood. You lost, boy? You know what I mean? And this is kind of our version of it. Where it's like, you know, yeah, you guys don't sound like you're from around here. And I used to joke, you know, people used to tell me about, oh, Texas, how nice Texas was. I'd be like, man, I'm not going to any of those fucking border states. You know what I mean?
You saw like my dude, he was like, yo, fuck the South. I ain't going.
Yeah, honestly, it's not a place that I feel comfortable in. You know, and I know it's kind of an irrational fear, but then, you know, and this what's crazy is this is in Montana. You know what I mean? So you're thinking I'm in Montana, you know, all right, it should be all good up here. And, you know, of course, they border with Canada.
Shit, I'm thinking about when I go see my aunt, I want to drive through Nebraska. They probably be like,
man, you better hope your shit don't break down, boy. All right? We fixing to have a hanging tonight. So yeah, you know, it's just speaking Spanish, you know, it will get you freaking approached by the federal government, apparently, you know, led under Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions III. You know, this shit's crazy. So we're speaking a language. You know, I wonder if they were both white women, they've been approached? See, now ICE is saying, oh, this wasn't racially motivated. So you tell me if it was two white women and they were just, you know, speaking in Spanish, you know, would they have been approached? The ICE agent probably would have said, oh, it's just two white women speaking Spanish. You know, they're probably educated, whatever. They just want to speak Spanish. Now, I hope I'm kind of calling for all white people who speak Spanish, you know what I'm saying, to start speaking Spanish to each other in front of these federal and see what happens. They should call, I'm speaking Spanish. Estoy hablando español. Get it. And what's funny is I'm actually bad at it. Yeah. There you go. Your Spanish is probably as good as mine, Gizo. But estoy hablando español. No quiere ver a mi papeles. You know, yeah, my Spanish is
I gotta
bad.
get that babble.
I think Rich probably speaks better Spanish than me. Fucking But yeah, I wonder, if you had a couple white women, a couple white dudes kicking Spanish, would they come and say, "Sir, can I see your ID?" or or speak to them in Spanish and say, "I need to see your identificación." But yeah, this shit is crazy. So
yeah, they on some bullshit.
Yeah, and then I want to play this video real quick on this asshole, and we've probably all seen this video already, but let's just give it one more whirl.
Clients at your staff is speaking Spanish to customers when they should be speaking very violent. I mean, sometimes they do. Every person I listen to, he spoke it, she's speaking it, is America.
He's very ignorant.
It's fucked up.
He's very ignorant. And he shouldn't be allowed.
I will be following up. And my guess is they're not documented. So my next call is to ICE to have each one of them kicked out of my country. If they have the balls to come here and live off of my money, I pay for their welfare, I pay for their ability to be here. The least they can do is speak
welfare?
You understand? If you intend on running a place in Midtown Manhattan, your staff should be speaking English, not Spanish.
Because of people like you, our nation
Honey, I'm calling ICE.
Call ICE. So that they can speak.
Maybe you shouldn't eat that sandwich today. Take a break from the food.
Maybe you should get hit by a car, you piece of shit.
All right, so yeah, again, this guy made the rounds, so we know about him, but I want everyone to notice how with these Trump supporters and alike, how they're very fluid on what they consider freedom. Right? Obama oppressed him, right? He was taking freedom. He was a socialist. You got this a-hole. So this is America. What's funny is I'm glad that the girl laughs out loud when he's like, "This is America." She's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, asshole, yeah, asshole. This is America where we have freedom of speech. And that means we could speak in any language. We don't have an official language here, Chantal. And I don't know, do you guys have an official language in England?
Well, English, I guess, yeah. But I mean, it's very multicultural, and when you go around, you're gonna hear people speaking different languages. But I feel like that whole arrogance of you should only speak English in England or America, that's crazy. Because when Americans or British people go to a foreign country, you're going to be speaking English. So surely the everyone in those countries should be saying to you, "Why are you not speaking our language?" So it's just very arrogant to just to behave like that, really.
Well, a lot of these
like
nativists,
let people be free.
Right. A lot of these nativists believe that English is a very powerful language. It's people call it the world's business language. Right. You've got to speak English if you want to be in business, especially at a global level. I know Subway, Subway sandwich. It's actually headquartered here in close by in Milford, Connecticut. For you to have a franchise anywhere in the world, you have to, be able to speak English. The actual.
That's the thing. The expectation is wherever you go in the world, like they should be speaking English to you.
Right.
And I think one of the things that people in other countries appreciate is when you can actually make the effort to kind of communicate in their language. So if I was going to like a Spanish speaking country, I would try and make an effort and not just be arrogant to say, "Oh yeah, I'm English, so just understand me." Do you know what I mean? But as I say, a lot of English people or whatever, they would have that expectation.
Yeah.
You have to be able, I need to be able to be understood, even though I don't speak your language. So.
Right. So real quick, salute to C-Town 100. But D Holla says here in the chat room, I'm sorry guys, I haven't been looking. Our show was so messed up that I've been trying to pay attention to the audio from last week. But D Holla says that apparently this lawyer, Aaron, what was his name, Schlossenberg or whatever the fuck. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I don't really care. But let's see. That he sent out a letter of apology today. So D Hall is saying that was recently reported on the news. And to me, I'll be honest with you, Aaron, for Aaron, I know he doesn't listen to the platform. I'm just gonna put it out in the ether, but it's like, take your letter and shove it up your fucking ass. You know what I mean? Because you're a fucking racist. You can't just take that back. And again, when it comes to forgiveness, I'm willing to forgive. You know what I mean? But it's gonna have to be more than a letter.
The only reason he did that because he got kicked out the building, I heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know what the hell, Yeah, he got kicked out of the building.
Yeah.
What's funny is he actually speaks Spanish. He's fluent, or someone at his office is fluent in Spanish and French. According to their website, they could. So it's our dollars. And again, this all comes back to how and where we spend our money. Our dollars are good enough. When we're in his office, right, cutting him a $5,000 or $10,000 check for a retainer, it's all muchas gracias, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? But if I'm gonna serve you a sandwich, you know what I'm saying, at the Fresh Kitchen or whatever the hell it is, it's it's I don't, why are you, all of you speaking in Spanish? And the presumptions that he made, you know what I mean, during that video, were even, for me, even more egregious than the whole Spanish thing. It's like they got the balls to come here and live on and live on welfare. I pay for their welfare.
Yeah.
And what's funny is it probably didn't even dawn on him something that he actually touched on. He didn't even realize it. It went right over his head. But the fact that these people are actually working, but yet in his mind, he automatically makes an assumption that they're on welfare. It's like, something's not computing here, Aaron. They're working, but you're paying for their welfare. I would like to say to Aaron, you're not saying that we have a problem with living wages in this country, do you, Aaron? Right? Because for people to have a job and yet still be on welfare, right? Doesn't that say something to you? So he's got this something going on with his cognition. I can't believe he's a lawyer, because I'll tell you, when it comes to lawyering, the little bit of experience that I've, you guys probably already know I'm somewhat still of an aspiring lawyer. I need to hit the damn books and try to get into law school again. But I've worked with lawyers. I had I done what was it, mock trial actually at Yale. That shit was crazy. But anyways, when you're a lawyer, you have to be able to really pay attention to details. I mean, every fact, every line, you need to be able to scrutinize it. But for some reason, this guy in his head, he doesn't have the facts right. His shit is just... So first off, he says, this is America. You speak English. We don't have an official language in America. We have officially recognized languages. There's a whole list of them. Right. I already looked them up. I didn't want to, waste our time by sharing them all. But we do not have an official... And you look at our Constitution, all these fucking fake constitutionalists running around here. Show me in the Constitution where it says English is our official language. Now, don't get me wrong. We print most of our text, our official governmental text in English because we want to save money. We're not trying to, what do they call it? The governmental printing office, I think they call it. Something like that. We have an official printing office, and we don't want to have all these laws printed in 7 or 8 languages, or even 2 to 3. I'm a taxpayer. I'm all about saving bread. Wherever we can as well. So yeah, we do that, but we do not have an official language. For this guy to come in there and say this is America. But again, I call it constitutional fluidity with these people. So they're all about their rights and freedom when it's a black guy who's the president. But as soon as they get their guy, they want to squash everybody else's fucking freedom down. And this is what we're dealing with. Basically, they're hypocrites, bottom line. But I'm sorry. The reality is, and I'm glad that we're kind of doing this in kind of 2 weeks. Last week we talked about some of the things that were happening with black Americans, between the police and other members of society. This week we're doing it with Hispanics, and this is what we need to come together. We are at war. All right. And I don't want to, sound like Alex Jones as Chantal. I don't know if you know who Alex Jones is, but he's a crazy conspiracy theorist. And he's got this voice that's
I've heard his name. I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yo, he's straight ridiculous. Yeah. He's like, he's such an idiot, but we're at war. All right. There is a war against minorities. That is obvious. And it starts at the head, right? What do they say? The fish rots from the head down. All right. It starts off at the head, which is our president. And it obviously leaks onto the streets of New York. It leaks on out to the streets of Oakland and everywhere in between. So, but when I say we're at war, don't think that I'm telling. And even though I am I'm a firearms owner, I'm an NRA certified pistol instructor. There's a difference there. But our weapons are not. We don't need firearms and knives and explosives and all this. All right, we have our voice. We have our vote. We have our dollars. Those are our weapons, and we need to use them effectively. All right, we can no longer subscribe to the crap that comes out of Kanye. We can no longer go to the businesses. Look, we didn't even talk about the Starbucks thing. Now you can go in Starbucks, and you don't have to buy a damn thing and sit there. You can sit now in Starbucks. You know what I mean? Even though I don't know why the hell you would want to do that, but if you wanted to, you go to Starbucks and chill. You know what I mean? We should bring like 20 dudes up in Starbucks and just sit down.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
if that guy was in a hood or a rough neighborhood and there was a bunch of Spanish cats talking, he wouldn't have said that shit. He was feeling strong in that store. It probably was somewhere in downtown. Was it in Manhattan?
Well, I'm not sure. I think it might have been. He popped off on another guy too. There was another video. I didn't play that, but this was unrelated. This happened like a year before, where he ran into this dude who was a white dude. He's like, dude, you can't fucking bump into me like that. You're an ugly fucking foreigner. Yo, and he was kind of like muscling up on the. Yeah, you're right. I think he's the type of cat that looks at people. He kind of sizes them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a taller dude. He looks like he's in shape. Probably, does Muay Thai shit, so he's on that Thai boy ho shit.
Why you gotta say Muay Thai?
Yeah, I know Jizo does Muay Thai too, though. But no, but this is the type of cat I could tell. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to. I always tell I train my daughter how to fight. We've got boxing gloves here. We've got pads, and she was hitting the pads. And I'm training her how to fight or whatever, because I'm letting her know, as she gets to high school, I don't want her having it. Someone comes, you correct that shit on the spot. And then everyone's gonna want to be your friend. All you gotta do is put one person on notice. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, I want to be your friend. Like, yeah, because I whooped that other bitch's ass. Now you want to be my friend. You know what I mean? But I'm preparing her for the future. My daughter's a very sweet girl, and I just want her to know that, that for every little sweet girl like you, there's a few people that want to, ruin it for you. You know what I mean? But I also let her know I'm practical as well. I'm like, if it's a girl who you think you can't beat, you know what I mean? Don't engage. Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash. I haven't told her that directly yet, but as she gets older, I'll let her know. Don't pop off because you have all this pride and then you wind up getting stomped out by some girl who's twice your size. You know what I mean? You got to measure people up. What did Prodigy say? He's like, my pops. I'm paraphrasing here. He's like, if niggas is too big, they getting shot, some shit like that.
Oh yeah, even the odds.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but and not that I'm advocating that type of violence. By the way,
yes, you are.
But yeah, so moving forward, we got to band together. We got to put our heads down. We got to march. You know what I mean? We got to use our voices, and I think we'll turn out. We'll win. We'll win this war because we're not going anywhere. Like I said last week, right? Yeah. We're still gonna have our barbecues. We're gonna bring more charcoal, the smelly shit too.
Barbecue.
Exactly. You saw what they did. They ran up to his crib. Chantel, I don't know if you saw this, but basically they had some mariachis, some people playing Spanish music. They all showed up to his apartment building.
I wish you had that video. That'd have been crazy.
So that's how they responded to this racist lawyer. They basically kind of trolled him. And it's like there's ways that we don't have to hurt them, right? We don't have to put hands on him. We don't have to do anything. We just embarrass him. You know what I mean? Show him how much of a fool he is. Boycott him, and let everybody else know, like, yo, if you want to come with that shit, this is gonna happen to you too. All right, and that's why I'm confident about the stuff that we say here on the mic, because we're not trying to freaking, we don't bring that racist shit. We don't bring that violence, that hatred.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Fucking.
We get militant, but we know how to, you know what I'm saying? Malcolm and Martin.
Exactly. Right now we're on Martin mode. All right. Now. But all right. Oh shit! It's almost time for me to I got my dickies on. I'm ready to go to work, and we gotta be out. So thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We really appreciate it. Jizo, voice of the people, General, Street General,
radical man. Nah. Chantel, London on the track.
Yo, you just love saying that.
I know Young Thug will be like, yo, man, you gonna have to pay me for that.
Yo, yeah, we need to really stop citing Young Thug.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that no more. I just
go ahead. It's all right.
All right, Chantel, take us out. She still there?
Chantel, you still with us?
Oh, I thought you was gonna play the intro as an outro when you said that.
That's sorry. Yeah, the way we set it up, it did seem that way.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah.
But yeah, we out. So I'm good. Chantel, you want to say bye to everybody?
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, peace.
Bye, everyone, and just
peace.
See ya.
But.